Welcome to the channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you're not. It is shot by Curt. 12 months with the Canon C70. Let's talk about it. Battery life. So the BPA 60 for me has been perfect. I get 4 to 6 hours shooting 4K easily. But mind you, that is shooting XFAVC, so it's not all eye and it's not raw. Now the battery life may vary on that, shooting those two modes, but a lot of the times I shoot XFAVC. Like I said, I can get anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, and that depends on if I'm shooting 4K 60 or 4K 24, which majority of the time is 4K 24, just because it's a lot of speaking, people on stages, or something long form like that. Two of these you can get through a whole shoot day easily and not even have to think about really swapping the battery out before you get a plethora of shots. So battery life has been tremendous coming from the Canon R5 for sure. So it actually comes with the BPA 30 batteries, which those is pretty solid too. If you go off the time of the camera, it says you get 165 minutes, or at least that's what mine is reading right now, which is pretty much a little bit under 3 hours, but in actual use, it's kind of close. Again, if you're shooting all eye or you shooting raw, then that's probably gonna vary. May not, but I don't shoot a lot of that. I shoot a lot of XFAVC, and it's usually like 2 hours, 2 hours 15 minutes. If I'm not doing a lot of stop and go, it's more accurate to that, like 2, almost 3 hours. But like if I'm doing a lot of stop and go, it burns out pretty quick. So it's usually about like 2 hours. Now this one, the peace of mind of not having a record limit, again, going back to people being on stages and talking. I shoot church services, I shoot people doing speeches, I shoot long events where it's multiple people speaking, and there not being a record limit. So if the person's doing 45 minutes, they're doing an hour, they're doing an hour and a half, 2 hours, I can literally just let the camera run. I'm good on battery life, and I'm good on not having no record limit. That right there has been a big game changer, just because of the simple fact that when I actually started shooting all of these like talking events and stuff like that, I was doing it on the Canon R6. Then I got the Canon R5. Both of them have record limits, so I had to, and then mind you, I was manning 2 or 3 cameras, 2 R5s, 1 R6. All of them have record limits, so I had to kind of like offset one camera and then set a timer, and then like, let me make sure I go check this one, or let me make sure I go check this one, or and a lot of the times I was by myself. When I was traveling doing this, I was by myself, so the fact that I can just, if I ever end up in that situation again, I can just let the camera run and not need to check anything. The ease of use of this camera. Now, if I wanted to treat this camera like my R5 and just throw a lens on it and a battery and go shoot, I can do that. Literally throw on a BPA 60, BPA 30, throw on a lens, a microphone if I want to catch some audio, and I'm good to go. I don't have to rig up V-mounts. I don't have to have a monitor if I don't want to, or all of the extra things that you would put on your rig. I don't need to do that. I can literally throw on a battery, a lens, and go shoot and get some dope shots. So the ease of use, I love it. So audio outputs. Now, while it is mini XLR, you can get adapters to make them mini XLR to full, but you don't really need to do that. You can get Condor Blue or just any sort of cord that's mini XLR to full XLR, and then you good to go. But earlier this year, I went with my boy Brandon to San Francisco to shoot a documentary, and the fact that I was able to have great audio on my camera and have the mic on my camera versus having to walk around with Zoom H8 or Zoom H6 for external audio and have to have a sound guy with me and all of that, it was just amazing to be able to capture everything raw, but the clarity of the audio just came out like perfect. I don't want to say perfect or immaculate, but it just came out super clean because I was able to have high quality shotgun mic on my camera versus having external audio and making sure that me and the sound guy is like in sync. Internal NDS, again, self-explanatory. The NDs are built into the camera. You don't have to worry about carrying around filters. You don't have to remember what strength you got, or if you brought the wrong filter, or if you even forgot the filters. It's built into the camera. So overall, I love the camera a lot more than I thought that I would. My only thing at the time when I got it was the fact that the sensor was a Super 35, and being that I'm coming from the Canon R5, all of my lenses are full frame lenses, so the lenses were being cropped into, and I wasn't getting the full field of view that I was supposed to get. So my 24 was a 35 and my 35 was a 50, so on and so forth. I was pretty critical about that initially, but that was something that I kind of knew going into it. I just didn't think that it would be as bad as it was, but I was already knew buying the camera that I was going to have to adjust, so I pretty much just adjusted. So I love the Canon C70, not getting rid of it no time soon. It's actually just going to be a B cam to the Canon C80. I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off. Yeah, man, if you're considering the Canon C70, I mean, going into 2025, it's going to still be a great option. It is going to be a little bit softer than the Canon C80 because that one's going to be downsampled from a 6K sensor, but this is more than enough. It's a little soft, but if you're into soft images, then it's perfect. If you like more of the sharp image, you can sharpen it in post, but out of camera you're not gonna get the most sharpest look. But I still love it the way it looks as is, so no complaints from me. With all that being said, man, like and subscribe for the good vibes.